Hello, and welcome to Diego C Palace. This is a morning breaking news. See if you guys can hear me and see me all right. Got a car alarm going off outside. Unbelievable. That's not what you want on a transfer window. Welcome to Diego C Palace. I hope you can all hear me all right. Apart from got a fire. I've got, I've got a. Let's have a look. See if you can hear me all right. Um, Welcome to the AOC Palace. I hope you can all hear me all okay. I do have a car alarm outside going off, and it's not my motor. It's absolute scenes. This is a morning. Let's have a look, see if I can get this going. I don't know if you guys can hear me all right. Good morning to Damo1168. A very good morning to you. I hope you can hear me all okay. Um, Let me just check. Um, oh, um, I think you can hear me all right. I'm just going to check that you can hear me all okay. Um, but good morning to you all. This is my very first on Diego C Palace. Hey, um, morning break. Any of you out there who is a football fan, what you do is you wake up in the morning and you pick up your phone and you look straight away at your safe page on whatever you're using on your phone and you look what's going on with the transfer at your football club. And that's what I do. That's what I do. And I'm sure all of you do that out there. And today it's my very first morning at Diego C Palace breaking the news as it's coming in early doors, and of course, I'm going to throw in there's also a reaction to um, the week 20 that's just gone by in the Premier League. Now, oh, 1 minute, let me just put this over it. Let me just put that on there, just in case. But anyway, so please hit like and subscribe at Diego C Palace. I'm just going to try and make sure that you can hear me all okay. So just give me a second. Um, Let me just check this because I don't know if this is working okay. Gonna double check. Uh, Made a sign. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. Big up to Man City fans. Good luck to you lot. I think you guys are turning the corner. I told you, and I'll tell you again, Manchester City fans out there. As soon as you get your players returned all back in full fit, I reckon your team will be challenging Liverpool for that Premier League. No chance of Chelsea. I think they're up there. And they're on my back, please, on the beginning. I hope you can all hear me because I've got a car alarm going on outside. Please let me know. Okay, go to that. Yeah, I'm just going to check to see if the sound is okay. Bear with me. Um, yeah, I think it is all right. What I was going to do is just increase the volume to max. I hope you can all hear me all right. Sound's gone. Can you hear me all right? I'm having a mess. The sound's gone. Oh no. Let's have a look and see. Um, can you hear me all right? I'm having a mess. The sound's gone. Oh no. I think it's all right now. I think it's all right now. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, I think it's all right now. I think the sound should be all right now. Oh, thank you very much, Dan0168. But I'll tell you something, it is absolute scenes. Now, I am sure that every single football fan out there, when you wake up in the morning, first thing you do is you pick up the mobile phone and you have a little, turn it on and you have a look. What's on the transfer window? What is happening at your football club? We all do it. We're all good. Thank you very much. Good morning, Damo1168. I'm just making sure that yeah, I think the sound you're right. It's good. And yeah, so that's what you have to do. Don't move. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay like this now for the rest of it, but it should be all right. I hope you can all hear me all okay. Now, I've got to say this. There's a lot going on at the moment. I've got everything more or less ready. Um, but to cut a long story short, at Crystal Palace, just players rumoured um, to be linked to Crystal Palace. Of course, we've got Romain Eze, of course, an attacking midfielder there. Republic of Ireland, he's available for Republic of Ireland and also for England. But he's playing currently at Millwall. His market value is around. I think it's about 6 to 7 mil, perhaps even more now that the Premier League club is coming in for him. Nothing certain there that I can report. But Romain Eze, we're going to have another Eze at Crystal Palace. Come on, Palace, we've got to get another Eze there. Eze there. There's another youngster called Ben Doak. It's a right winger, a Scottish football player, and I believe he's from Middlesbrough, and he's priced at a bit more, something around I think about towards 12 or 13 mil. Um, and also another was rumored to Nasser. Um, Dijaga, I don't know if I butchered his surname there, and he's a centre back. That might be very important. We have got Daichi Kamada coming back from illness. He's had a few stretches on the road, and I have to say, um, I'll get on to Chelsea and Mark Gahey soon. Don't you worry, Chelsea fans, I'm going to get to you. But anyway, yeah, so it's a centre back that was forever, and of course we're also there's whispers and there's rumours about Joby Bellingham, of course the central midfielder, and he can play a wide as well. Of course, an England international there. Of course, he plays for Sunderland at the moment, and he's a bit more of a hefty price. And I got to expect that if Crystal Palace are going in for him, there's going to be other offers, other options for him, no doubt. A very good player, and I think he's worth something in the region between I would say 17 mil towards the 20 mil, perhaps 21 mil. So that's a higher price there, I expect for, because I have to say to all Premier League football club fans, to those Arsenal fans, to those Liverpool fans, to those Manchester United fans, to those Manchester City fans out there, to those Chelsea, the jammy Chelsea fans out there, at Crystal Palace, we have the best pound for pound sporting director at Crystal Palace in the ring. You lot can all tag team yourselves in there, and all the other Premier League sporting directors. But at Crystal Palace, we have the best pound for pound sporting director, and of course, that is none other than who let the dogs out. Ooh, it's Dougie Freeman. We've got the best pound for pound sporting director. So if you're coming in for any of our players, it doesn't matter if you come in with the plastic bags and the sandals, all of 50 notes. You got to get past Dougie Freeman, and Dougie Freeman is the best pound for pound sporting director in the Premier League. If he's in that ring, John Jones, he can move aside. Hey Mayweather, he can also move to the other side of the ring because we have Dougie Freeman at Crystal Palace. So Manchester City fans, Liverpool fans, uh, Jammy Chelsea fans, uh, Arsenal fans, Manchester United fans out there. That's right. Dougie Freeman, he won't let you take liberties. That's right. I said it. I said it. So well done, Dougie Freeman, there for doing what he's doing in the transfer window. And I have to say, a massive thank you to the legend of Crystal Palace, Dougie Freeman, for breaking a few minutes and just doing a little selfie for me at the last Premier League match. Thank you very much. But that's all. I didn't talk to no one. I just did a selfie and that's it. I don't know anyone at the football club. But big up to Dougie Freeman for doing that. I much appreciate it. That made my day. And of course, we got a one goal. And I have to celebrate. Did anyone see that goal from Jean Philippe Mateta and President elect equalising for Crystal Palace against the Chelsea at Selhurst Park? Did any of you see that assist from Ebrieze, that swift pass from Ebrieze to Jean-Philippe Mateta, that movement on the ball, that pass from Ebrieze, it was finger licking, so tasty. That pass, it made the goal. And John Philippe Mateta, he doesn't need to be told where the goal's at, especially if he's playing against Chelsea fans and Chelsea players at Selhurst Park. John Philippe Mateta celebrated like that. He kicked the corner flag. And that's right, John Philippe Mateta. Is he better than Mbappe? Of course he is, all day long. Mbappe couldn't tie his bootlaces. Real talk. We have a president elect. Écoutez, mesdames et messieurs, out there. We have a president elect. Macron, move aside. We have Jean Philippe Mateta at Crystal Palace. So, if there's any Premier League clubs out there having a little sniffle there, a little taste to see if they want a striker. You cannot have Jean-Philippe Mateta because he's at Crystal Palace and he's staying there. Hopefully, hope I haven't jinxed it. Welcome to Diego C Palace. If you're new to the channel, please hit a like and subscribe at Diego C Palace. This is my very first transfer morning um, breaking news, and I'm also going to, if I've got time at the end, to do a reaction to the last Premier League fixtures of Week 20 in the Premier League. I'm just pouring myself um, a little breakfast here, and make sure that you eat and drink responsibly while you watch your football, and of course uh, while you listening to the breaking transfer news. And my sources are going to be um, reputable. Probably it's mostly going to be from Fabrizio Romano, and also my sources are going to be um, Sky Sports News. So it should all be there and then thereabouts. But it's morning time. It's transfer window time, and if you're a football fan out there, I mean, no doubt that you'll have your coffee like my here. I haven't got a coffee this morning. I don't know if you can see. I don't want to spill it. Got some nice um, Tropicana orange juice. Smelling good. I smell a good transfer coming towards Crystal Palace, and definitely Chelsea. You're not having Mark Gahey. You're not having him. You're not having him. Liverpool fans, you're not having Mark Gahey. No one's having Ebrieze. In fact, we're not selling anyone. We're going to buy all the players at Crystal Palace, and we're going to go up towards that top 10, top 6. That's right, Crystal Palace are going to do that in this transfer window. Morning to everyone out there. Please keep hitting the likes and subscribe at Diego C. Palace. I'll have a little munch of that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put this over here. Otherwise, it will go all over the place. Now, where do we start? Where do we start? And the battery's going on this one. That's not good. That is not good. Um, uh, Let me just pause that for a sec. There. Let me come out of there, and then let's go. That will be that's the rumour section. I'll go to the rumours at the moment, but I have to go into, as I say, just quickly for Crystal Palace fans out there, I'll be very quick. I'll go a bit more in depth in this one. But of course, Crystal Palace fans out there should know this is no secret. This is not breaking news, actually, but it's for Crystal Palace fans. Quickly, Roman Eze. Um, from Millwall, Ben Doak from Middlesbrough, and Nasser Diaga. You know what? I don't know what club he's from, but Joby Bellingham is also rumoured to be linked to Crystal Palace as an in coming in. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out. Right. But I think I'm going to go straight into the breaking news for the rest of the Premier League now. So I expect there'll be other fans there from other football clubs there. But if you're new to the channel, please hit a like and subscribe. The breaking news this morning, I'm taking this from Sky Sports. Big up to Sky Sports. And of course, Graham Potter is back in the game. The game is the game. Now, Graham Potter has come back now as a Premier League manager. This is the problem when you drink orange juice and you go live. It gives you hiccups. Now, um, Graham Potter for me is somebody that is underrated as a manager. Of course, his last club was at Chelsea, and now he has been. Um, as reported, it says Graham Potter replaces Julian Lopetegui as the West Ham coach. Now, of course, Lopetegui was sacked on Wednesday afternoon, having been appointed in May. Potter, who's uh, the ex Chelsea manager, has been out of work since April 2023. Now, West Ham at the moment are 14th in the Premier League, and they've only had 6 wins and from about 20 games thereabouts. Now, it has to be said that in the next 6 matches in the Premier League for West Ham, one of those fixtures, I think, is the early February. It's an away fixture for West Ham at the Bridge, so it's going to be Chelsea versus West Ham. Now, I think that's going to help Graham Potter because by then he should have had a few matches with his new squad at West Ham United. Now I have to say this. I have to say this, West Ham fans. It's not so long ago that you lot won silverware in Europe with the manager of Moyes. Now David Moyes. Um, he landed you silverware for Europe, and you got rid of him, and it hasn't worked for Lopetegui, and therefore he's gone. Good morning. I hope you are well, um, James Stone. I hope you've been well. I haven't seen you for a while. I want to wish you a happy New Year and seasonal greetings, belated one, very late ones, but happy New Year to you, and make sure, James Stone, you're having your breakfast like moi, making sure that you eat and drink responsibly. And Happy New Year. Shalom to you, my dear friend. Now, so yeah, I was talking about Graham Potter there. But before I go into him with West Ham, I think the West Ham fans, I think some of them, of course, they have expectations of where they want their football club to be, where that should be. Of course, I don't understand that because I'm a Crystal Palace fan. Um, um, but it's not long ago that they landed silverware in Europe. I mean, when was the last time Tottenham Hotspur landed silverware in Europe? When was the last time that Arsenal landed silverware in Europe? And I have to say, the only football club in the Premier in London that has won the Champions League, I think it's twice, is Chelsea. So um, they got rid of him because of his style of playing, and apparently he didn't develop the young players. And then they brought in Julian Lopetegui, and it hasn't worked out for the West Ham fans. That's that expression is before you remove something, be careful what you might get in replace of it. Not that I don't think Julian Lopetegui wanted for it to not work. Of course, he wanted to work, but it has been um, said by West Ham fans that they weren't happy with the results, and of course they're not safe from relegation. They are dropping like a stone at the moment. So West Ham fans are um, they do know what it feels to go down, like Crystal Palace fans, and it stays with you. So it's one of those things that look, let's just get it sorted while it's early doors. And clearly, a window, an opportunity has come in for Graham Potter to come back in because he wasn't appointed. He didn't. I don't know if he was approached by the FA to become the England manager or not. Perhaps it's not his cup of tea right now, but clearly um, he's made himself available at this stage of the season. And um, big up to James Stone there. He says Shamus owners are. Oh, what's happened to the comment? Just bear with me. I don't know what I've got to press to get the comments up here, to be honest. How do I get the comments? I'm using a new device, so I have like zero idea. How do I get the comments? Oh, here we are. Okay, learning live chat. So I'm going to go here, live chat. Here it is. Uh, it's a disgrace how they behave. They do everything that in the ways always leaves the bad taste. Yeah, absolutely. The one of decency, very greedy, and very small-minded. The boot. I'll tell you something. I think um, they're worried about it. They're worried about yeah, I know you're talking about the owners at West Ham, and of course Goldberg. No, Sullivan. Oh, Goldberg, rest his soul. Um, Gentleman passed away, of course. O'Sullivan there. I do believe that Karen Brady's still there on the board. I could be wrong, but I do believe she's still there. And do you remember that time when Karen Brady went down towards the changing room and it was said that, yeah, no, somebody passed away. Yeah, one of the owners of West Ham, he passed away. Um, I could be wrong, but I do believe it did happen, and it's just O'Sullivan there. Um, I could be wrong, but I do believe that has happened. Now, the uh, yeah, I remember back in the day when David Moyes was there, and Karen Brady tried to go in the changing room, and he said, "No, you can't come in." And there was a big roughness there for that. Now, it uh, uh, yeah, somebody, yeah, that's right. Oh, it was yeah, so somebody there. So it's um, I remember there was duels. There's always been duels with the West Ham ownership owners and the previous owner that we had at Crystal Palace, of course, Simon Jordan. It was always quite comical, I have to say. I have to say, as a Crystal Palace watching it as like a ping pong affair between those sort of owners, proprietors of the club. Now, I'm just trying to go into the section of what they say about. Yes, it says here. Yes, she is still there. Karen Brady is still there. I think Karen Brady is actually all right. I think she's a very successful businesswoman, and I think um, it's David Sullivan. David Sullivan's got a wonderful, beautiful red Rolls Royce. It's absolutely gorgeous, that vehicle. Absolutely beautiful. I've seen it at Selhurst Park, and one time I was going down the M4, and he went past me, and it was his motor, so he's got his number plate. But yeah, it was some time ago. Now it says here, Potter will meet his new players. I'm reading for Sky News, so big up to Sky News on their breaking thing. But it says Potter here will be meeting his new players on Thursday. Which is today, this morning, and take his first team West Ham training session later today. His only training session before his first game was against Aston Villa in the FA Cup, uh, and on Friday night. So, so basically, he's got one training session today, and of course, he's up against Aston Villa. Um, tomorrow night. So he hasn't got much time. It also says it's Karen Brady, the West Ham's vice chair. I knew she was still there. Played a key role alongside David Sullivan's in Potter's appointment. So Baroness Brady, of course, who is still married to Paul Pesci Solido. Do you remember he used to play um, 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 for Birmingham and West Brom, but he used to be a roommate with Potter um, back in their playing days. So there's a connection there with Graham Potter now and Baroness's husband, um, um, and there's so that should help sort of settling him into the new environment at West Ham, I expect. Um, but um, and yes, I can confirm that uh, Spurs proceeds with West Ham, and basically the backroom staff, as any West Ham fans there, in case you haven't heard, um, It will mean that Bruno and Billy Reid will be joining him. Both worked with Potter at Chelsea and at Brighton, so Chelsea fans and Brighton fans will know about Bruno and Billy Reid, whom are part of the deal. It looks like to bring Graham Potter to West Ham. He's having his first training session today. I've drunk that orange juice and I've got the hiccups now. Now, um, Graham Potter's been out of work for nearly or then thereabouts 18 months. Now, of course, he doesn't have to get to match fitness, but um, I think it's like any professional in any sporting profession. Do you still have the dog in you, sort of, to get the job done? And getting a club like West Ham, um, Potter has. No, I disagree. Potter's a very good manager, and I would have minded him being the England manager. But for me, pound for pound, the best manager that we've got out there, bread and buttered here in England, is Eddie Howe. And I think the FA should have broke the bank, even if it meant other parts of the FA development, other platforms had to take a cut. They should have got Eddie Howe, and it's not because I want West Ham United, West, not because I want Newcastle United fans to lose their manager. I just think Eddie Howe. Um, um, look what they did just recently in the League Cup, okay, against Arsenal. All right, and there aren't many teams that go to the Emirates and stop Arsenal. But I have to say, I mean, Mikel Arteta blaming the ball, the Carabao Cup ball, and the manufacturer of the ball, because the football played with at the Carabao Cup, at the League Cup, is of a different manufacturer. I think they should pull up Mikel Arteta on that because he's criticised not only the competition, he's also criticised the manufacturer of the football that is being used in the Carabao Cup, and I don't think that's got nothing to do in the way that his players lost against Newcastle United. Newcastle United deserved to win that. He just said that to change the narrative and change people talking about it. But coming back to Potter, um, and my understanding is that Potter had the opportunity to sign for as the manager of Ajax, the Netherlands Amsterdam Football Club, and and I think he was also rumored to Leicester City, Southampton, and also AC Milan. I tell you, losing him. I don't think he might have a human mind, but I don't think he has a football mind. He's been there, I think, for 5 years, and there and thereabouts at Arsenal over 750 million net spend in transfers, and he still hasn't won a trophy with his own players. Now, there is no team in the Spanish La Liga that will contemplate signing a manager with no experience and landing him there for 5 years and giving him that kind of net spend over 4 and 5 years. It will never, ever, ever, ever happen in La Liga in Spain. For some reason, the Arsenal fans believed in the process and they are where they are. They're, um, um, I just don't, from an outside looking into that, and I don't want to get sidetracked here. Um, I think he's still doing his apprenticeship at Arsenal. And let me put it to you this way: does any Manchester City fan out there want Arteta? I guarantee you that 99% of them will say no. You saw what happened against Newcastle. I don't think he was rated at all before. He's never done anything like. If you look at Oliver Glasner, he's learned his trade in his backyard, and it shows. He needs. I mean, I respect Ian Wright out there. I actually love him, a legend of Crystal Palace. But after that, like Arsenal losing against Newcastle, he said, "Oh, he needs help." Do you mean he needs to be spending more money? Um, Oh, he speaks. He's from Spain. Mikel Arteta is from Spain. He's a Spanish man. He's from Spain. He hasn't. Mikel Arteta has not managed a football club in La Liga. And what my point being is, there is no one in La Liga, certainly Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, or Real Madrid. They will never allow a manager to be there for 5 years and spend the kind of money that Mikel Arteta has spent here in Sterling over those transfer windows, and not have a trophy landed with the players. He wouldn't be there for past a year. He'll be gone. Anyway, coming back to West Ham, um, I have to say, I think it's a good appointment for West Ham. Um, Here are the next fixtures for West Ham United fans. The next five fixtures um, um, are tomorrow. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. It's an FA Cup match. It's, of course, away at Villa Park. The the West Ham United away fans will be standing in the Doug Ellis stand. And big tip: if you go to Villa Park, the Doug Ellis stand, before you go in, just look to your right, or if you come out from the Doug Ellis stand, go to your left. But say you're standing in front of you and it's there in front of you, and then before you go in the away section, the Douglas stand. To the right, there's a big entrance there. There's a big car park there. On the far side, there is the club shop. But then, if you look at the gate and you look right there in front, right at the back of the car park, there is a burger bar there. And I have to say, if you're gonna if you want to rate um, a double cheese, double beef burger, double cheeseburger, double beef burger, I have to give that a good 9.5 out of 10. Absolutely brilliant on a cold, hungry day. It's a very good one. I have to say, it's ample. It will fill you up so you get yourself back down to South London. So that's a tip there. If you go to the Villa Park, um, to Aston Villa. The next one, Glasgow is a good coach. It needs to be acknowledged, and it is very few teams in the Premier League play successful considering they have three centre backs. Yeah, basically, um, Oliver Glass is bringing the same style. He has brought it because he's been there now. But I'll give you another example. Ruben Amorim went to Anfield recently and got himself a 2-2 draw. And following all the madness that's going on at Manchester United off the field and on the field, Rashford, the mice, all sorts of things. And yeah, he's plays three at the back. Ruben Amorim at Manchester United plays the same. He's the first one to go to Anfield to play that three at the back the same way that Oliver Glasner plays. So I was fascinated to see how that formation worked out against at Anfield against the Liverpool fans there and also the Liverpool players. And I can't wait for Crystal Palace to get up there and get at least a point off Liverpool. The second fixture for West Ham is Fulham. They're playing at home against Fulham, and that's 3 days, 4 days later, and that's West Ham. So basically, his first match in charge, Graham Potter at West Ham. Palace played three at the back. We don't play five at the back. Yeah, no, we play three at the back. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I didn't say that they played five. No, we don't. Maybe back in the day, you know that. Yes, I know that. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So basically, Ruben Amorim plays three at the back, and so does Glasner. Our back three at the moment is Trevor Chavela, Mark Gahey, and Maxims Lacroix. The problem is that Jamie Chelsea not only want Mark Gahey, they want Trevor Chavela to be brought back on loan, back to their yard, and then have him for a few months, and then throw him underneath the bus again. And let's not forget that. Chelsea deselected Mark Gahey, hence why he left Chelsea and he came to Crystal Palace. I'll come to that later on because I've got some news about that. Anyway, and but that's not over the that's it's not there. But also there. So basically, Aston Villa, Graham Potter's first fixture is against Aston Villa tomorrow night at 8 p.m. kickoff at Villa Park. It's an FA Cup um, match, and his second match is at home, London Stadium, against Fulham. Now, Fulham is a very, very, very good side. Um, Marco Silva there doing very well there, but he has conceded a few goals. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one there against Fulham. And then the next one is against my Crystal Palace, and of course, um, that's 3 points for us. We've got to get 3 points. Therefore, if Glasgow plays have a pretty skilled head coach who, oh, what have I done here? Wait a minute, I don't know what I've done with the chat. I don't know what I'm supposed to press here. James Stone says, who has a supportive staff with him. They are very German Austrian, like their technical, efficient, organised and stereotype. Yeah, that's right. I'm not saying I will never say that Roy Hodgson was never organised. I think they were, but they just did a different style of football, 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, if anything. But it's a different style of approach. Um, Playing three at the back with the two wingers, and then you got to demonstrate to them in training how they go from the transition of defense to attack and vice versa. Um, Basically, the whole team has to attack and the whole team has to defend. And people need to play out positions when they need to, um, not when they're told. Um, they need to get online with that. Um, right. So it's the third match for Graham Potter's Crystal Palace. um, um, so basically, what I'm saying is Graham Potter's first match is an away fixture in the FA Cup. Then the next two matches are home fixtures for him. Um, First one against Fulham, and then my Crystal Palace. Come on, Palace, we can do it. Please help me get to 5 likes if you are in the chat. If you're new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe at Diego C Palace. Help me get to 2,000 subscribers. This is my very first ever Diego C Palace. Um, Transfer news in the morning, and so I'm giving it a go to see what the reaction is out there. But thank you very much. That's for people in the chat and anyone who's watching on playback. And the fourth match for Graham Potter is going to be um, again against Aston Villa, but that's going to be um, again away at Villa Park. So the West Ham fans are going to have to make the trip up. Um, they're going to go down the uh, up the M1, lick a left, and go towards Aston Villa. And I have to say, so they've got two fixtures with Aston Villa, and but that's an evening kickoff there, no afternoon kickoff 4:30 there. And that's going to be on Sky Sports, so watch out for that one. Big up to Sky Sports for featuring that one. And then reason I'm laying this out is very important. The fifth fixture for Graham Potter, February the 3rd. I knew it was at the beginning of February. It's away at the bridge. Now, I have to say, Chelsea at the bridge are not what they used to be back in the day. The reason why I'm saying that, I'm not saying that as banter. If you're a Chelsea fan there, you don't need to be reminded about what I'm about to say. But before I do that, I'm just going to have a little drink. Uh, Make sure you have your breakfast. I hope the Shammers get relegated. Not with Graham Potter now. They'll stay up. I tell you, they'll stay up now. Make sure you drink and eat responsibly while you watch your football and while you check your transfer windows. With Harry, I knew he was going to say. I knew he was going to say that. Yeah, he'll have this. He'll have his lucky one like this, a magic spell when he goes to the bridge. And I tell you something. Was that spoon? Yeah, the jammy Chelsea are going to get one. Listen, you go and have a little rest over there, son. Now, enough about the spoon. I've got to take the spoon out of the way because it'll take over the show. Real talk. Now, don't listen to the spoon. Listen to me. Now, I tell you, Wan Bissaka is done right. Look at which is the other player that left Manchester United? He's playing for Nottingham Forest. Um, Elanga. Any player that's left Manchester United have gone and done better wherever they've gone. Even if they've gone down to the supermarket, they've got a better deal. Real talk. I mean, it's anyway. I'll go into Manchester United fans in a minute, but because there's a lot of transfer rumours at their end as well. Now, uh, so as I say, on February the 3rd, Graham Potter's going to have to go with West Ham away at the Bridge. Now, Chelsea fans recently, they didn't just bottle it. I mean, really, real talk. To lose on the Fulham Road against Fulham fans at the Bridge. If you didn't know, Fulham Road is not on the King's Road; it's on the Fulham Road. And if you come out at the stadium at the Bridge and you look a right, there's a little roundabout there. North of that is the North End Road. Uh, Back in the day, it was a really nice fruit and veg and some fish market, but now it's not what it was back in the day. Um, and But anyway, let's go back to the football. But big up to James, though. Thank you very much for dropping in. I really appreciate that. That kicks it off. I hope you're well. Stay safe out there and stay warm with all this cold weather flying about. Thank you very much for dropping in. Now, um, so Graham Potter's going to have to go to the bridge on the 3rd of February, and Chelsea are not what they ought to be, what they were back in the day at the beginning of the season at the bridge under Maresca. Now, I think he's undermining some of his players, like Nkuku and Nicholas Jackson, I should say, um, by talking about the strikers that he used to manage at his previous football club. I mean, that's not an undermining, and he's tinkering a lot. I'm calling him Tinkerbell Mark II, the Chelsea manager right now, Maresca. Um, and Chelsea fans to lose against the Fulham fans at the bridge, and then after that, the shambolic result that they had at the next match as well. So it's just they're not firing at the moment. Chelsea, in a sense, um, should they have won against my Crystal Palace? No, they got their first goal, but at Crystal Palace, as I said in the intro, we've got Ebrieze. He did that lovely, sweet, tasty finger licking pass in the penalty area. He crossed it over to Jean-Philippe Mateta and Monsieur President elect. He against Chelsea, it's a walk in the park, and he equalised. And actually, before Jean-Philippe Mateta scored for Crystal Palace, about 7 minutes before that, Eze could have nailed another one, but it just didn't land for him right as he hit it, in my opinion. Now, so there you go. That's the breaking news for West Ham United. What opportunities are they going to have in the transfer window? I think they need to get. They brought. Um, they brought a lot of players in the beginning before the transfer window at the beginning of the season, and I've got a feeling that they may need to offload um, any players in the surrounding of the squad depth that they've got at West Ham, and then perhaps bring in some fresh blood. Of course, Graham Potter knows about players of Chelsea because he would have had access to their contracts then. He would know more or less what's about and what is there not about at Brighton. So don't be surprised if something, a loan deal from Chelsea or even from um, Brighton might suddenly materialize. In my opinion, there's nothing on that at the moment, but don't be surprised if something like that doesn't materialize um, with Graham Potter bringing in something in that he used to know, that he used to work with. Real talk. Let me just refresh this in case there's any other breaking news. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace, and if you can, uh, try and help me get to 5 likes on this live stream. Now, um, that is the Graham Potter. Do you know what? Um, Graham Potter has revealed in a Sky Sports interview that he has actually had other conversations with other football clubs, but he was just waiting for the right role. And he seems to like the looks um, of West Ham. So we'll see what happens there. But as John Stone said, that he thinks West Ham are going down, not with Graham Potter. He won't go down. They won't go down with him. He'll organise them. He'll sort them out. Right. I'm just gonna make sure I click on the right thing here, and then I can go on to the other breaking news for other football. If I can get the thing to work. Why isn't it coming up? Oh, it's still loading. I hate this tablet. You know what? I seriously, I'm not gonna say the manufacturer of this tablet because I don't know if I'll get in trouble. But I advise anybody out there just buy yourself an Apple tablet. That's all I've got to say. Um, that's just not working. See, look, I can't get the thinker. Oh, it was working before I went live. Uh, right, that's not working. So why isn't it working? All right, I've got another plan. What if I just do that one? Oh, my days. I knew something. I'll have a glitch. Um, just you just can't make it up. Right. So yeah, no, at least that one is loading there. Um, let me just start a new page here. I'm gonna have to start refreshing. I'm coming, people. I'm just gonna have to start a new page here on the notes that I had. Um, here we go. And then I can go in there. Come on, people are waiting. Uh, and right, here we go. Right, here we go. I think this is the one I need to do. Please work. I think maybe it's just. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi, but this is the latest that it's going on the transfer. Um, right, this is the latest news of transfers in the Premier League. Chelsea are. Why is the brightness gone now? Oh my god. Okay, now I can see it now. But before breaking it, please hit like and subscribe at Diego C. Palace if you could. This is a Chelsea update. Development between Chelsea um, and Stuttgart. Um, um, there may be some movement there with a defender called Renato Veiga, and it's a 21-year-old, and is rated as a very good prospect in European football. Um, he signed for Chelsea last summer on a contract until 2030 something or 31, and he's made I think only like 6 or 7 Premier League appearances, and nothing firm, but there is some interest from between Chelsea and Stuttgart for him, and and so there you go. So that could be it, and that could, if that moves, that could open a window for Kevin Danso, um, um, because he was wanted by Wolves before they turned their attentions to a player from Reims in France. It's a centre back called Emmanuel Agbadou. So that is something there. Now, if there's any Manchester City fans out there, um, Magush, Mamamush, oh my God, Mamamush, he's rated at around 67 million. It's a City, man. They can just splash 67 mil. There you go. It's like a tenner for them. It's just completely anyway. But Eintracht Frankfurt has now been informed that Manchester City want to sign Omar Marmoush eh, like now, like today, like this by midday today. Do you know what I mean? That's what they want. Um, Now, Eintracht Frankfurt, German side, they are said to be asking something like in the realms of 80 million euros, which kind of rotates around to about 67 mil sterling. Apparently, there is no release clause, and offers significantly and any offer significantly below that are expected to be like it's not going to happen. So, City fans there, it looks like Eintracht Frankfurt. They're looking. If you didn't know, they're looking for something like um, for your city to play Manchester City to pay something on the realms of 67 mil and then thereabouts. Now, City and Mamouches can consider a transfer fee of 42 to 50 million, which is um, equivalent to 50 euros, 50 mil euros or 60 mil in euros. Um, to be more on the cards. Um, but Eintracht Frankfurt, they are adamant, and this source is Sky Germany, so that's the source between there. Um, but with that said, there are thus far there has been no negotiations from between both clubs. So what that tells me is that there is interest on both sides. Um, on the side of Manchester City, clearly because they want the player, and Eintracht Frankfurt are sticking by the guns because they've clearly brought in Omar Marmoush um, as an investment, and they want a clear return on that investment, which is you can't blame them. If you've got Man City knocking at your door and they want one of your assets, then well, they need to pay out what you want them to pay, because you've got what they want. Um, um, it may not sound as simple, but they're going to stick to their guns. Shouldn't bring guns into it. They're going to stick to their. Oh, good morning, Paul Brady. I hope you're well. Jose Mizuno to Everton. Listen, I'll tell you something. Everton there is blue, and there's a chance. I'll tell you something, Paul Brady. Happy morning to you. Make sure you eat and drink responsibly up there up north. And yeah, I've been to Goodison Park. I've been to Anfield and haven't not sure if anyone's been to the new Everton Stadium. Apparently, it's near the docks. It's near the docks, so it's not going to be walking distance like it currently is between Anfield and Goodison Park. Um, I'll tell you a little story. The last time I went up to Liverpool, um, it was a Liverpool game, and with the club arranged the coaches to go up there, and um, it was pitch dark, it was cold, and I couldn't find the right coach. I was late to the coach, but not because I was late to the coach, um, um, because I was late. I mean, I know I was late, if that makes sense, but it's because I couldn't find. There were so many coaches, and I was like, which one is it? Do you know what I mean? So, a little tip: if you do go up there as an away fan at Anfield, and you go there with the coaches, just drop, I don't know, drop a flare whilst you get off the coach, go and watch the game, come back, and hopefully they'll still be there. You can see it as a pointer. that you know which coach to get back on. But there you go. That's a little thing. So City fans, there, no negotiations between Eintracht Frankfurt, but um, Manchester City fans out there, as my source is Sky Germany, and they're clearly saying that big up, Steve. Good morning. I hope you're well. Hope you're keeping up warm there. Just going through little transfer news. This my source. This one is Sky Germany. Big up to Sky Sports, and that is no negotiations between the clubs, but there is clearly an interest from Manchester City, a very evident clear sign from Manchester City. They want to try and sign Omar Marmoush um, like today, like tonight, like now. There's no negotiations between the clubs now, but there's an interest clearly on both sides, and they're trying to meet each other halfway, but without having official negotiations. Now, also, uh, um, oh no, I'm not going to go into that one. Yes, Ipswich have got a player having a medical, and that's Jaden Philogene is in Ipswich. He's having a medical later this morning. Ipswich have agreed a deal with Aston Villa for a fee in excess of 20 mil. That's big money signing for for Ipswich Town. The Tractor Boys, who recently did a number over uh, um, the Chelsea fans. I mean, everyone seems to do a number over the Chelsea fans. Um, and Philomene looks like he's agreed terms of a 4.5 year contract there. Steve, I'm not going to see the stadium on Monday. It could be Tuesday, won't be Wednesday. It's busy on Monday. Big up to you. And going to the game on Wednesday, they're dark and easier to take photos. Yeah, it's difficult to take photos when it's dark. I have to say, even if you've got one of the a good phone with a good flash, it's easy if you can. And also, it helps if the sun is out. I always find. So Ipswich Town having a play. They're having a medical. Aston Villa player coming in for 20 mil, and I have to say 20 mil for a club like Ipswich Town. That's a lot of bubble there. So hopefully he'll do well for Ipswich Town. Hopefully not too well because I don't want them to overtake my Crystal Palace. And just to give you a little, I was talking about Manchester City, and this is why Manchester City Pep Guardiola are in for Omar Marmoush. Um, he's basically second behind the goal scoring of Mo Salah, um, involvement of yeah, if you like, in across the whole of the top five European leagues this season. Top of the league is Mo Salah with 21 goals, 17 assists, and also he's got and Omar Marshall is second. He's on 18 with 11 assists, and Harry Kane. Um, Oh right, and yeah, across all competitions, Mo Salah scored 38, and Omar scored 29, and then below him he's got Harry Kane, Robert Lewandowski, and Rafinha, um, of course of Barcelona. And if you remember, he used to play for Leeds, and he's actually the captain of Barcelona now, Rafinha. So he's basically the second best outfield player there. They're scoring goals, and that's why Manchester City wants him. And him playing alongside um, Erling Haaland, that's going to be difficult to defend against. I got a feeling that Grealish might be on his way out, maybe on a loan deal. I don't know. Someone's going to leave there. Um, right. Um, of course, we all know that West Brom are in search for a manager. Um, apparently, the latest that we've got, It's Rene Hake and Raphael Wiki. They're looking in contention for the West Bromwich Albion job. If anyone's interested in that one, um, if for those of you who don't know, the Dutchman Hake was the assistant to Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United, so he's well known. He has experience in the Premier League. Um, while Wiki, Raphael Wiki, has won the Swiss double um, trophies with young boys not long ago in 2023. So there's experience there, and yeah, so there's obviously there's a manager that is needed at West Brom. Also, there's a little whiff that Manchester City could be approaching Palmeiras over a deal for Victor Reis, and but it's just an interest. No negotiations between the clubs, as I can see it, and City. Um, yeah, it looks like they want to sign another young player. He's only 18. Do they need anything else? Um, right. Right, that's that one. I've done that. I've done West Ham. Right, now this is the next bit. Manchester United. Oh my days. Here we go. Let me just take a little drink. And it's coming up to the 60-minute mark. So, oh my God, I'm going to spill this. Let's have a little bite of this. Make sure you eat and drink responsibly while you watch your football and while you check the transfer window news in the morning. Mm, 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 mm. There's nothing that betters. I should have brought a tissue with me. Oh, here we go. There's nothing that betters a freshly baked croissant in the morning. There isn't. If you're new to the channel, please hit a like and subscribe at Diego C Palace. Help me get to 5 likes if you can. And also, please subscribe at the channel. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. The support from all of you at the moment, it's been absolutely amazing and brilliant. So thank you very much for doing that, everyone out there. I really mean that. Thank you very much. All the likes, all the subscription, all the comments. They mean a lot to me, and it's helping pushing the channel out there to whatnot to get new subscribers and new viewers in. So thank you very much, everyone out there, for doing that. Now, Marcus Rashford. Where do you start with Marcus Rashford? Yes, you know I'm a Crystal Palace fan, but I'm not going to banter about this for one reason, because I don't think it's a physical problem that Marcus Rashford has. He has a there's something in his mind. There's something that's not right with him. And yes, we all know how much he gets paid every week. But putting that aside, there's a player there. He's not physically injured, as far as I know, as a Crystal Palace fan. So what that tells me is the lad needs a new challenge. Do I feel sorry for him? I don't think he'd want anyone to feel sorry for himself. I think that's the Marcus Rashford that probably the Manchester United fans would probably want back. Back at his best they've got a good manager in Ruben Amorim there. Yet they're playing in at three at the back and a new formation. But I still think there's a player there to be had in Marcus Rashford. And I don't think it's a physical injury that he's got. There's something not right there in the mind. And the reason why I'm being cautious about giving too much banter to against Marcus Rashford, because when a player gets like that, I always think that the player will know the symptoms, perhaps where the problem might be that's not right. I expect someone close to him, a family member, perhaps his wife or a close, maybe a brother or a sister, someone, not the football agent, but someone close to him will know what is up with him. Big up to ST. Good morning. I hope you're away. Stop it. Just wait, ST. I'll come to you in a minute. And taking limits, but good morning. Stay warm. So there'll be the player himself. The someone in the family should know about him. That should know what's up with Marcus Rashford. The third thing that should know what's really up or not working properly with Marcus Rashford, whether it's a physical or a mind thing, should be the doctor that's appointed to him at Manchester United. And the fourth person that should know what the situation there is with Marcus Rashford should be the manager at the football club. And in confidence, the manager, the medical person at Manchester United, and the family member that knows Marcus Rashford better than he knows himself, but can it's always been there and will always be there for him. Could be his wife. Those three need to get around Marcus Rashford and give him the options to go to his next challenge, whether that challenge is at Manchester United or elsewhere. The reason why I'm being delicate about that is because the lad, yes, he gets paid a lot, but he's still a human being. And maybe some football fans forget that there's still a player in him, maybe a good 2 years and 3 years of him left at top level. But there's a player there, so I just think he just needs a new challenge. Whether it's at Manchester United under the new manager or elsewhere, I don't know. But at the moment, Sky Italy is very own Gianluca Di Marzio. He's a reporter for Sky in Italy. He's saying the following. So please, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Legacy Palace. This is regarding Marcus Rashford and AC Milan. Now we all saw what AC Milan did with their new manager against Inter in the Supercoppa. I did a watch along for that. Please go and check it out and have a look so you can see how I had predicted it wrong. I predicted Inter Milan to win, but AC Milan right at the death of that Super Cup in Supercoppa, they say in Italia. Um, um, por favore, right at the end, AC Milan landed it. And it's as follows. So AC Milan have made it clear that to Marcus Rashford's representatives that he would have a leading role in the team. This is it. Tammy Abraham, that's right. There you go. There you go. That winning goal. That's right. I said it. But Chelsea, um, you fell apart against the Tractor Boys. Big up to the Tractor Boys. Look after the farmers. If there's no farmers, there is no orange juice and there's no croissant. Real talk. So look after the farmers. But Jamie Chelsea fell apart against Ipswich, Portman Road. Um, Chelsea fans fell apart on the Fulham Road against Fulham fans. Out of all the fans to lose, they got chopped up. And then they came to Selhurst Park and they also got chopped there because Ebrieze passed that sweet finger licking pass to Jean Philippe Mateta and Crystal Palace equalised there. So let's get back to it. So big up to ST. Oi, none of that, mate. It's too early. Listen. You're the one that trolled me and caught me out in the last stream. So look into my eye. I'll come to you, Chelsea, in a minute because there's links here. I've got some news about your jamming Chelsea. I'll come to it. You know who we're going to be talking about, of course. Mark Gahey. Real talk. Right. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace. Please help me get to 5 likes if you can on the live stream, if you could. This is my very first Um, how do you see Palace and Stockport going to the FA Cup? We should get that. I think it's on Sunday. Um, I think it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know what? I haven't done my homework on Stockport, but the way Crystal Palace are playing right now, um, I want to see anything but a clean sheet, 2-0 win at home at Selhurst Park. Big up to you, Steve. So this is Rashford against AC Milan, where it was said it's been made clear to Marcus Rashford's representatives that he would be and have a leading role in the team. Okay, Marcus Rashford's brother and agent, Dwayne Maynard, Maynard is in Milan. He landed there on Wednesday, and is to understand that what type of space, what role, what type of opportunity there would be um, for what teams could give to his player, although he's his brother, Marcus Rashford. Now, Milan have a number of top forwards right now, including Rafael Leao, Alvaro Morata, Tammy Abraham, Samuel Chukwueze, and Christian Pulisic. Now, in the form that Marcus Rashford is in, I'm going to stop quoting now the report that I have. Do any of you honestly believe that Marcus Rashford, in the form that he's on right now, can get ahead of Tammy Abraham? And he was on the bench against Inter. He came on as a substitute, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Alvaro Morata, he started the match for AC Milan. Yes, he did. And it was Tammy Abraham that came on as a substitute against Inter in the Supercoppa, where in the Supercoppa final, I should say, where AC Milan won. Now, um, AC Milan has just signed a new manager as well, so they've just won silverware. So, would you want to upset that apple cart there if you like? Now, going back to the report, Rashford's entourage will also be in Spain in the next few hours to meet other clubs. So they're basically going around Europe. What's that saying? Oh, 1 minute, I've missed it. What do I press there to see that on? There it is. I don't rate Tammy. Not a fan. What what is it with Chelsea fans that any Chelsea player that goes to Italy, nah, I don't rate him. Lukaku, Tammy, they're winning silverware, lad. Open your eye. They're winning silverware. All right. Chelsea been to the finals with Pochettino. They came away empty-handed. Tammy's just won silverware. Lukaku pick up silverware at all. He never got any service. He never got any service. Abraham, he never got any service. And I tell you something, Lukaku, well, we all know what happened. He went too close to that TV interview, and we all know what happened after that TV interview, isn't it, Chelsea fans? That's right, I'm laughing. That's right, I have to. How dare you troll me and catch me out on the last watch along? I haven't forgotten. Now, um, Serie A, the Serie A side at Como have also expressed interest and will have no issue in satisfying the terms of loan and percentage of um, Marcus Rashford's salary, apparently. The problem with Como is that they would only sign um, they could only sign one between Dele Alli and Rashford due to the slots on non-EU players, because that is what. This is why I waited to talk about this. They have a rule in the EU that their there is a cap of how many players you can have um, from outside the EU playing for your team. So, um, but at the moment, as we speak, at Como, the Italian side, Deli Ali is still training there. So, um, yeah, basically, it's not a rule within the Italian league. It's a there is a cap of how many players, any cap. There's a cap of how many slots for a player from non-EU country players can play in the Italian La Liga. So Deli Ali's already ticked that there. So my understanding from that is Deli Ali will have to be released, and then Marcus Rashford would have to land. I don't know how that will work out. So there's a few things that have to happen there. Now, also apparently, Borussia Dortmund and Juventus are the other clubs that have expressed interest. Um, However, it has to be said, a move to Dortmund is thought to be unlikely, according to the Germany context that work for Sky, and they've kind of like they don't think it's going to happen there. So. Um, do I think Marcus Rashford will get a loan deal? I think they will because I think there will be a club in European football, even with the caps that they have in the rules that they have, because they have a cap of how many non-EU. Remember, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales, the United Kingdom, is out of the EU. So, without going into political things, they they've got to abide by the rules that the EU have been bringing in players as a cap. So, um, and as I just said, as an example, the Italian side Como, they have Dele Alli, who's clearly from here, from the UK, and he's already ticked that. But they would apparently, they wouldn't mind um, having a little conversation about it. So at the moment, nothing concrete between any two clubs, whether it's in Serie A or in Spain. Apparently, Marcus Rashford's entourage have travelled to Spain to have a talk to more clubs there as well, I should say, and but nothing that I can see that's concrete. So options there will be will develop. I don't think there'll be a shortage of clubs who'll be interested in him, but I'll reiterate what I said earlier on about Marcus Rashford going to AC Milan. And those of you, please go and watch the watch along that I did in the Italian Supercoppa final between Inter versus AC Milan, where Tammy Abraham scored that winning goal for AC Milan. Marcus Rashford will be behind the other forwards that are there, none other than Rafael Leao. I'm sorry, but Marcus Rashford is not better than Rafael Leao. I think Marcus Rashford back to fully fitness and playing really well. I think he will score more goals than Alvaro Morata. That's my opinion. I think Marcus Rashford at the moment will have to compete with the likes of Tammy Abraham because he's on the bench. So Jim Ratcliffe would want Rashford off the wages book. Absolutely, absolutely, of course they are. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe would have to also answer the question, in my opinion. His new structure at Manchester United signed off was it just over or just under 200 million in the last transfer window. So with the fair play, they need to get somebody like if they get rid of Marcus Rashford, I think what might happen to get it over the line is that the club that is loaning him and are going to pay some of his wages for the rest of the season, Manchester United are going to have to pay some of that as well. I think that's the only way out of this. Um, yeah, that's the only way out of it. Now, the question is, as I said earlier on, if it goes to Europe, the European sides have caps of how many non-EU players can play in a side. There's a limit. So that has to be taken into consideration. And the second thing is, if he does move to a club, in the Premier League, um, there's only a few clubs in the Premier League that can afford Marcus Rashford. Now, Crystal Palace, we're not in those. We're not in those net spend loan deals. We're just not. Um, as an example, there's only a few clubs I think in the Premier League that could afford Marcus Rashford's wages to the end of the year. Also, it was reported roughly about now and about 2 hours ago. Um, Arsenal fans actually don't like this player. Not a lot of them do, but apparently Inter Milan are looking to make a preparation for a January bid for Arsenal's defender Alexander Shevchenko. Of course, he's from Ukraine, and the former, well, he's an Arsenal player, but the former Manchester City defender. Um, he's not had much match time under Mikel Arteta, and may be open um, to get out of town. He probably knows that under Mikel Arteta, Arsenal are not going to win any trophies. Um, but that could also help Arsenal, I suppose, if they were to offload him under his wages. Then perhaps they can make a little cheeky bid for someone like Victor Gyökeres, or I don't think Arsenal are in the market for Alexander Isak. I think the only side that could probably sign him in January if they wanted to, but they probably won't, will be Liverpool. Now, Liverpool. Liverpool apparently are reportedly having a little look over the hedge, having a little whiff for a move for Bayern Munich's superstar Joshua Kimmich. So we'll have to wait and see in that. But the source there is the tabloid newspaper The Sun. So that means that there's no negotiations between, or the way I take it, I see reports like that from sources like that, is that means there's no negotiations between the clubs at the moment. But there's an interest there, maybe from both parties, and does the player see that as an opportunity there? Will time will tell. Um, um, yeah, I'm going to do that with that now for that. Right. So that's kind of the latest one. And then, of course, Chelsea with Mark Gahey. Let me just have a little taste because I need to have fuel for this one. I know there's Chelsea fans out there. And when you deal with Chelsea fans about transfer windows, you need to eat and drink and have fuel inside of you. Because of the jamminess of Chelsea fans out there, the way they approach the transfer windows, cracking a shell there, cracking another shell over there, poaching one over there, it's absolutely ridiculous. Not only are Chelsea fans and Chelsea, because of what's happened recently against Fulham, because what's happened recently against the Tractor Boys, and because recently we dropped 2 points again against Chelsea this season. We dropped 2 points at the bridge earlier on in the season. So in effect, Marcus Palace should have done 6 points on them. But back to the question in hand. Chelsea transfer window, Crystal Palace. Not only are they trying to take the bubble, I mean, there's taking the bubble and there's taking the piss. And I have to say this, Chelsea fans out there, real talk, look into my eye. Not only are they considering of pulling back Trevor Chabala, who we brought back to top gear, if you like. And all that top gear. Top gear, back in form, match fitness, Premier League ready. We did that because when we received him, we had to have him on the bench for I think for 3 matches because you guys didn't let him train at the bridge before we got him, right? But Trevor Trouble has shown the difference, the experience that he's had as a two-time Champions League winner. He won it with Chelsea and he won it with somebody else. I can't remember who the other club is, but he's won it twice, I do believe. And it shows the experience that he has had. He's scoring goals for Crystal Palace, even as playing there in the back three with Mark Gahey and Maxim Zerqua. Now, for Chelsea, jamming for Chelsea, they're looking to bring Trevor Chavalab back. That looks like they need cover in that position because of the injuries that they've got at the back, and that is the cost effective. They're getting someone that's Premier League ready and has got experience. As for the player himself, Trevor Chabala, players don't forget when they get deselected, when they get thrown underneath the bus, not just by the managers that have been and gone, because Pochettino's gone, the Chelsea players that have been deselected, it stays with them. In my opinion, of course, I don't know, but I'm saying it stays with them. Now, Trevor Chabala knows the moment that he goes back to the bridge, he may be back on there, he's maybe still back on the payroll, but that team that's in there are going to see him as an outsider, even though he's a Chelsea player. And he'll be saying, all right, how long am I gonna give this lot at the bridge before they deselect me again and throw me underneath the bus again? He's experienced it once already. Does he want to go through that nonsense again at the bridge? Furthermore, the jamminess of Chelsea, as I said earlier on, there's taking a piss and there's taking the bubble. But the Chelsea fans right now are doing it dual right now. Real talk. They're also having a little sniffle at Mark Gahey. Now, everyone knows that Mark Gahey left Chelsea to go to Crystal Palace. I don't have access to the actual contract in writing, but my understanding is, cut a long story short, if there is a deal to be made between Chelsea and Crystal Palace and Mark Gahey, it is favourable for both parties, both for Chelsea and for Crystal Palace, for that deal to happen between the two clubs because of the conditions of the contract when he left Chelsea to go to Crystal Palace. That is my understanding of it. So if Mark is going to leave Crystal Palace, it's most probably going to happen with um, Chelsea, in my opinion, because it already fits for both ends. The other question that I have to ask jammy Chelsea fans out there is if you take Mark Gahey the way they are, Trevor Chamberlain back there as well. I'm not being funny, Chelsea fans, but there is no room in your changing room at the bridge. When Jadon Sancho landed there on loan from Manchester United, you saw how much timber he's carrying. He could barely fit in there. When Maresca has a team talk at the bridge, Chelsea fans, they're so squashed in there that when they leave the changing room, your players come out onto the bridge and they're walking around like emperor penguins because they're still stiff up because there's been no room at the changing room. And you want to take two of our players at Crystal Palace back to the bridge. There is no room in your changing room, Chelsea fans. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, there's no room at the bridge. Stop it. Stop it. I said it before and I've said it again. It's taking the bubble, and it's taking the Michael, and it's taking the piss, and you lot, the three musketeers, and I ain't gonna say who D'Artagnan is, at your bridge. Taking the bubble. I'll tell you. Now, the other thing that could happen with Mark Gahey is I think it's Liverpool. Because I always say to players like Mark Gahey are the ones that are established internationals and they're playing in from the Premier League ready and they need to step up to another level. I am not one of those Crystal Palace fans that don't want none of our best players to leave. I understand that Crystal Palace has an obligation and understanding, like Steve Parish said to that Sky Sports reporter, they have not just an understanding but an obligation to help progress the careers of the Crystal Palace players, not just the ones that have been there a long time, but the ones that have just dropped in there, all of them. There is a responsibility by the brand of Crystal Palace to help progress the playing careers of players. Players come and go, and that has to be on point. So if a football club like Liverpool come in, and we all seen how defensively weak they've been recently, the goal that um, Bergendale scored against Liverpool. Now, don't misunderstand me. Ibrahim Konate he's a world class defender. I'm not going to take nothing against the lad. He's lanky as anything, but he's a I'll call him a tier one defender there. But against Tottenham Hotspur, when Solanke took that ball into the penalty area of Liverpool, and the way he turned around, Ibrahim Konate kept on moving, and by the time uh, Solanke crossed the ball over to Bergendahl, there was no Liverpool defender anywhere near him, and this is in the penalty area at Anfield. So I'm worried that Liverpool might come in from that game. They're on the quest. Um, Arnold Slot may feel that he can't risk testing why he was being brought to Liverpool. Um, what I mean by that is he's inherited a very good squad with big names at Liverpool, and he may say, press the panic button at Anfield and say, "Get me Mark Gay here. I need someone that can defend. I need someone that I bring in, and maybe we can change things around here." Mark Gay can play three at the back and four at the back. Liverpool always play four at the back there. I can see Mark Gay playing there alongside Virgil van Dijk and being productive there for their development. So I'm worried about that. Um, this is big claims. No disrespect to Newcastle United fans out there, but real talk here. Liverpool, Chelsea, it's a complete different level, in my opinion, because of the opportunity for the player himself. Um, I said it at the beginning of the season to watch out for Chelsea to be like their dark horse to get up there in the Premier League, and they're doing that steadily. Although they've had a little bit of a blip recently. Please help me get to 5 likes if you can. This is my very first transfer morning uh, update, and also a little reaction later on quickly on the Week 20 um, fixtures that's just gone by. Cheers, everyone. Please hit a like and subscribe at Diego Palace if you are new. Now, those are two players, Mark Gahan, Trevor Chabalo, that could go back or could go on their way to Chelsea. As it stands, my understanding, there's been no concrete negotiations, quite frankly, between Mark Gahey in the middle and Crystal Palace at one end and Chelsea at the other end. There's not much negotiations that need to be done because they both know the status quo of the contracts because one bought Mark Gahey off the other one, and so they know the status quo. That tells me is this Mark Gahey wants to go back to a club that deselected him, and I think if he does go to Chelsea or to Liverpool or anywhere else, Mark Gahey should put his foot down and demand a certain value in return for that because he's earned it. He's absolutely earned it for what he's done at Crystal Palace and what he's done for England as well. As Uncle Mark Gahey, as they call him there. I think Mark Gahey should do two things. He should talk to people like Paddy, coaching staff at Crystal Palace. He's he saw Mark Gahey when he first came into Crystal Palace um, because I think that would be a good advice for Mark Gahey whether he should go or not. Of course, not to make the decision for him, but I think he should do that. Um, I've never spoken to Mark Gahey in a conversation. I have asked him for a selfie, and he gave 2 seconds of his time to do a selfie. But it does not mean that I've spoken to him or that I know him as a person, as a football player. But as a Crystal Palace fan, Mark Gahey, first of all, comes across to me as very humble. He believes in his creator. Um, he's a family person. And I think those three elements in his life will always, if you like, trump anything else. He's very humble. He's a family person, and he believes in his creator, in his faith. Um, Now into the football side, I think he's at peace with his ability and perhaps where he can next go up to another level as a better football player. Can he achieve that at Crystal Palace? Probably not. As a Crystal Palace fan, as it hurts me to say that, probably not. Because why? Because players like Mark Gay, he deserves to be one day picking up a Champions League, one day picking up a Premier League. And this season and next season, my Crystal Palace can't offer that. Not the way we're losing players at the moment. I mean, I hadn't even got to Ebrieze. I hadn't even got to Manchester City, considering um, Adam Walton. I mean, how many more players are we going to lose every transfer window? Last transfer window, Crystal Palace lost Joachim Anderson, just to name a few, and Michael Lise. You know what? As a Crystal Palace fan, I absolutely detest transfer windows because I'm like, do you know what? Where's my shirt? My Crystal Palace shirt is there. Penny for the guy. I'm not going to move it because it's double-sided sticky tape that I learned watching Blue Peter back in the day. If you know, you know. But the back of my shirt there hasn't actually got a player's name because the player that I wanted to put at the back of that shirt, he blooming well left. Maybe ticked off. Um, at the moment, it's between either Jefferson Lerma or Daniel Munoz that I'm going to put in there. And there's another two that they'll be interested in, no doubt. But hopefully they won't leave in the January transfer window. But their value has gone up exponentially. This time last year, if I'm not mistaken, Dougie Freeman brought in the pound for pound best sporting director in the Premier League, Mayweather, John Jones, move over a side, move over a side. We got Dougie Freeman as the sporting director of Crystal Palace, the best of the best of the rest. But this time last year, he brought in Adam Walton and Daniel Munoz. Now, their valuation has gone up. What I mean by that, Crystal Palace took in an investment in these two players there, and now they're up here. And the higher it goes, the Arsenal, the Liverpool fans, the Manchester City fans, the Chelsea fans, they may want him, them, and them as well. Chelsea fans out there, Listen to me. Écoutez, mesdames et messieurs, señores, señoras. Listen, Chelsea fans, there is no room in your changing room for any more players. They don't physically fit in there. Stop it. Stop it. Stop going. And I tell you something, Chelsea fans out there, you gave over 100 mil for Caicedo to Brighton, and now they have the jamming audacity to come for Mark Gahey and not even give us anywhere near 100 mil for that. I'm absolutely fuming and spitting. I hate the transfer windows. I just don't like them. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and Diego C. Palace. I just, it's just too painful. It's too painful. If it's not Manchester United fans trying to grab my players, last time they wanted Michael Olise, and last time it was Michael Olise. One day going to Manchester United, the next day going to Chelsea, and we all know what happened there. Was it Michael Olise says like this, something like that? No, he goes like this. Sorry, he goes like this. Manchester United fans and Chelsea fans never landed Olise. Definitely not the Chelsea. They deselected him. They threw him underneath the bus back in the day. Players don't forget those things. Chelsea fans. Hmm. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace. Help me get to 5 likes. I'm going to round it off quickly because running out of time. I'm going to go and do something in a minute. Oh my days, it's nearly 11 o'clock. Yeah. Now, um, where did I have it? Oh yeah, I had the last of the. Let me just have another refresh in case something else has popped in. Um, I was going to do the reactions to the week 20. It is on the thumbnail, so I've got to mention it. I cannot not mention it. I have mentioned the Jean-Philippe Mateta goal, but if you can in the chat, please help me get to 5 likes. It's my very first morning transfer update, and also I've included it as a reaction to the week 20 of the Premier League fixtures that have just gone past a few days. Oh, Jones. Not John Jones. Imagine John Jones signing up for Premier League football. No one's going to lose. No one's going to. That team is not going to lose. John Jones, UFC heavyweight. Let's not go there. Let's keep it to football. But Jones is expected to undergo um, a Luton medical there. Aisha Jones is expected to undergo a medical with Luton today. Now, those of you who don't know, Luton Chelsea changing room full of their players, big millionaire heads. Listen, this I know I joke about it, but I guarantee you, you talk to the the kit man or the kit lady. I don't know who does the kit there. I'm in no doubt that when they have the halftime team talk at the bridge in the Chelsea changing room, the manager's like, "Can you hear me? Hey, pay attention. Shush. Stop smoking at the back there. I can smell it. I can't see you smoking, but stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Now listen to me." That's what the manager, Maesco's saying. And when he finishes talking in that changing room, the people squashed right at the back of the changing room. They say, "Wait, did you understand a word he said?" "No, I didn't hear a thing, mate." "Did you hear it?" "No, I didn't hear. What did he say?" "Ah, it's all right. I can lip read. I'll tell you as we run out onto the bridge." There's no room in there. That's what's going on there, anyway. So it looks like Luton are about to sign a player there. Um, Luton were given permission to speak to Jones. Of course, he's from Middlesbrough, and I'm worried about this transfer a little bit. Why you may ask that? It's because we are linked to a Middlesbrough player, Crystal Palace, and if too many of them leave there, we ain't getting jack, are we? Or they'll bring the price up even further. Um, Especially if they get whiff of maybe Mark Gahey going um, to Chelsea, and this is Jamie Chelsea to Chelsea. Please help me get to 5 likes if you can in the chat. And this is breaking news. Um, Wolverhampton Wanderers have signed Ag- Agbadu from Reims. Agbadu Emmanuel. Why didn't I just say his first name first? Emmanuel Agbadu from Reims. He's a 27-year-old. He's just joined Wolverhampton Wanderers on a 4.5 year contract worth there and there about £16.6 million. Um, Emmanuel Agbadu, if those of you who don't know, he's from the Ivory Coast, and um, he he spent the last 2 seasons and a bit playing uh, well in La Liga, in the French league, of course. Um, I do believe that Wolves switched their attention to Reims centre back after pursuing the other player, Lens Kevin Danso. But that's been confirmed there, and so that's breaking news there on that. If those of you who didn't know, from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Um, and there's still a lot of talk about Marcus Rashford and AC Milan, but with a list of strikers there in form, I just can't see him getting ahead of them. Um, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Um, it needs to. If Marcus Rashford moves away, well, I suppose from Manchester United fans' perspective, is if he does move away on loan and somebody else picks up the tab for um, for his wages, it gives them room to manoeuvre something elsewhere in the transfer window for somebody else. So it is what it is. Right, I'm going to quickly then now go move over to the reactions of week 4 um, of last weekend, and I'm just going to quickly check. Marcus Rashford, no, it's still the same. I'm going to do one last refresh just in case, quickly because time is running out. I've got to go and do something. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace. This has been my first morning, which is closely going into the afternoon, transfer live updates, if you like, and also a little reaction in a minute about the weekend past fixtures, week 20 of the Premier League. Um, this tablet takes so long to even load up one little page. Mind you, there's not that much going on in the transfer market at the moment. It's just taking forever to load up. It is absolute rubbish. Um, right. Let me just go quickly, just check. It's just not loading now. So do I need to hold it up or something so it catches the Wi-Fi? Can't be my Wi-Fi. I've got full strength at the moment. Absolutely shocking. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace. Um, okay, I'm going to leave it there now. Right. On Saturday, which was the 4th of January, it was the following results. It ended Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle United 2, and I said it before and I'll say it again. I think Ange Postecoglou is a very honest manager, very direct manager, and at the moment, every time that he does a post-match interview, um, I think he's gonna get himself into trouble because he's very honest, and sometimes when you're honest in those kind of important pressure positions, you're going to make mistakes, and he's going to get fined by the FA if he hasn't already been done so. Um, but of course, Tottenham Hotspur 1, um, Newcastle United 2. Solanke there scoring early doors for Tottenham Hotspur with an assist from Pedro Porro, but not 10 or 30 minutes later, 2 minutes later, Bruno Guimaraes assisting Anthony Gordon there on 6 minutes, and then Newcastle United equalised. So let's just put that into context. It's the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur start well. Within 5 minutes, they score a goal, but not in double figures. But within 2 minutes from kickoff, Newcastle level back. Why didn't they play like they played against Liverpool? Oh, anyway, let's not go into that. All right, and also they within the first half, none other, who else but Alexander Isak scoring the second goal on 38 minutes. He's absolutely on fire. He's unplayable at the moment. He cannot do anything wrong. He's not picking up the injuries that he picked up last season. So Alexander Isak um, doing very well. It's not just him. I think the defender. Um, Let me just. I'm interested to see on that one quickly on that lineup. Yeah, Burns is the captain for Newcastle United. Um, they're all defending really well at the back. Burns, Hall, Livramento, they are doing very well at the back, and Newcastle are flying there. So that ended Tottenham 1, Newcastle United 2, and that was last Saturday, which was quickly. This tablet's doing my nut. So slow. Uh, I can't move it. Anyway, all right. That's Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle United 2. Right. Next match up quickly. It ended Bournemouth. Why has it done that? I swear I'm going to throw this tablet out the window. It is so rubbish. Right. Bournemouth 1, Everton nil. I'm glad of this result. As a salty Crystal Palace fan, I need Everton to drop points. I expected the same Liverpool fans out there that would want Everton to be relegated, which is, if I was salty, I mean, they take the saltiness to another level, the Liverpool fans. Real talk. Brooks there scoring in the second half for Bournemouth. Bournemouth, a very organised side, um, and um, yeah, clean sheet there. So at home, they're very strong, Bournemouth. We all know what they did to Man City, what they've done to other teams, top teams there. But David Brooks there, scoring with a volley there on 77 minutes. Bournemouth are showing people what squad in depth in all key positions there. I don't think when Eddie Howe was there, they had as good a squad in depth. Eddie Howe, when he was at Bournemouth, he just had injury after injury. It was just ridiculous. He basically had an A&E in his changing room. The other fixture between oh my god, this thing is mad. What it does, this tablet is so slow, so when you press something, it actually goes into the wrong place. I'm wondering if maybe I've just loaded it up with too many stuff, and it just doesn't work. But it's not an Apple tablet, and I'm not. As I say, I can't. Right, here we go. Quickly, Aston Villa. Has it gone into it? It's gone into the Tottenham Hotspur Newcastle again. Oh my days! You know what? I might not even do it but I have to do it because I've included it in the thumbnail. You look, I'm going to get someone in the comments who's like, "Oh, you never spoke about the matches." That's what happens in it. There's always one. Right, quickly. Aston Villa 2, Leicester City 1, and uh, Ruud van Nistelrooy there. Um, he's got problems there. Although I do believe Jordan Ayew returned to the lineup for Leicester City. And let me just have a look at the lineup. But for Aston Villa, it was Barkley and Bailey scoring there in the second half. For the first half, it was 0-0. So that would have been encouragement for um, their new manager, Ruud van Nistelrooy for Leicester City. Yes, Jordan Ayew, the ex Crystal Palace player, he started, and I thought he had done. And they had a pivot of a midfielder of Winks and Shamari up against Aston Villa's Kamara and Barkley in their midfield there up against each other. Um, at half time, it was nil-nil, so that will be encouraging for Leicester City going playing away. But the way they conceded both of those goals, um, you could see Ruud van Nistelrooy's face by the cameras when they showed it, and when they showed the replays, and he was like, "Come on, really?" And they had opportunities to at least come out of there with a point, but they didn't take some chances. Leicester City, Crystal Palace won, Chelsea won. Going to keep it sweet because it still smells good. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. It still smells good. It still tasted good. And look at that. Look at that. It's still looking good. It ended. Crystal Palace won. Chelsea won. Real talk. Chelsea scoring first, of course. And then after that, they were diving all over the place, wasting time all over the place at Selhurst Park. And then up comes Ebrieze. He missed an opportunity, and then about 5 or 6 minutes, he passes the sweetest and finger licking best ever pass to Jean Philippe Mateta. And Jean Philippe Mateta against Chelsea. It's a walk in the park. Man equalised. Quite frankly, we should have got another. We should have got another 2 points off Chelsea at Selhurst Park. But I have to be honest with that one as well. We did ride our chances against Chelsea, but they was just like wasting time, diving all over the place. When they went one up, um, that was that. Right, next one quickly. It's Manchester City 4, West Ham United 1, and in that one, um, I think that was if that wasn't the last door nail on on the West Ham manager. I'm just trying to get this up. Why are you so slow? I don't know. Do I need to bang it? Right, it's come up again. Yeah, I'm looking at the lineup, and the reason I'm going into the lineup between West Ham United versus Manchester City, um, Manchester City, Foden back in the line, De Bruyne back to starting in the starting lineup, and Haaland there. He always likes scoring against West Ham United. I don't know why, but he does, I think. Um, but West Ham United with Julian Lopetegui, I think that was his last match, I suppose. Um, the reason I'm looking at this is because I'm thinking, what will Graham Potter change with this? You see, I don't think Graham Potter will play Susek and Alvarez in the pivot in the midfield. I think Graham Potter will start uh, Ings, Alvarez, and Susek. So he will do a 4-3-3, and he will sacrifice. I think he'll sacrifice Somerville and then bring him on as a substitute. I think Graham Potter's first match tomorrow in the FA Cup against Aston Villa, he's going to play 4-3-3, and I wonder if, yeah, that's the way I see it. But then, of course, their veteran captain he wasn't playing yesterday. Um, but there you go. He ended Manchester City 4, West Ham United 1. Does that mean that Manchester City has turned the corner? Um, no. The reason why I say that is because they always seem to score a bag of goals against West Ham United. Naming one person mostly, Erling Haaland. I don't know why it is, but the man just loves scoring against West Ham. Don't ask me. Go and ask a West Ham fan. They're probably sick of. They're glad to see him. You know, just go. But I'll tell you what, that's a trek to go from. Well, I wasn't nearly said South London. Of course, it's not South London. From West London all the way up to Manchester City to get piped 4-1. That's got to be a painful one there for those away fans. I've been there and done those. Real talk. The other match was Southampton nil, Brentford 5. Now, this is without Ivan Toney, of course, Brentford and Southampton with the new manager there. And I have to say, um, it was like a training session for Brentford when you look at the replay of that match. Um, and it, it's just the way Thomas Frank gets his players, sort of mentally ready to do the job on hand is against someone like Southampton. They just didn't stand a chance. Of course, Southampton got a new manager, Ivan Zurich, there, and why did he play three at the back? I don't know why he played three at the back. They haven't got the wingers to play that formation. Um, I don't understand that from Southampton. They've got a new manager. Maybe he's just trying something new. Just play four at the back against a side like Brentford. Play five in the middle and close up shop. They lost Southampton nil, Brentford 5. Right, quickly because I'm running out of time. The reason why it's taking so long is this tablet. It just takes so long. You see, I just pressed it. If I count it, that's 10 seconds. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Right, let me press it again. Maybe I need to clean it. I don't know what it is. Last match, and I've left this one for last, and I've left it for last for a reason. And I hope there's Arsenal fans out there. It ended Brighton Hove and Albion at the Amex. One bottle jobs, and I mean bottle jobs. Arsenal away fans won. I'm going to put this. You know what? This tablet, and I'm not going to throw it away because there is one last thing that I want to check. Um, it's not working. All right, I'll give up with this tablet. But I tell you something, Arsenal fans, that it ended Brighton 1, Arsenal 1. I did a watch along for this, and I said it then, and I'll say it again. I've never, ever in my life ever asked anything of an Arsenal fan. Never, ever. But on this occasion, it was Brighton versus Arsenal. This is following our Crystal Palace, that shirt there, with the official Bath Duck. And there's amazing, the best away fans from Crystal Palace, the best away fans in the Premier League. They went down to the Albion, they went down to the Amex, and they walked back with 3 points. Now, Arsenal fans, why you just bottled it? Why you just bottled all of that? You scored early doors with Ethan Waneri, and now he's injured for you lot. It's not bad luck. It's just Mikelot's head to just destroys youngsters. He's thrown Eddie and Ketty underneath the bus, and he's thrown them underneath us. You might well worry Eddie and Ketty will score loads of goals come towards the end of the season. He's putting the shift in there, and he'll get his goals. He just to keep working hard at it. Now, with Arsenal scoring early doors at 16 minutes, you have to ask the question. Not only did they bottle it, but then afterwards, they were complaining, of course, about that penalty that Brighton got. Now, I will be the last person to say anything positive about Brighton, but when every time I look at that penalty decision, and as I'm biased, as I'm salty, and as I'm pathetic when it comes to looking at Brighton, because I'm so obviously just want them to lose 3 points, but the Arsenal away fans, the Arsenal players just bottled it. When they went one up in 16 minutes, why didn't they score a second goal before half time? If that had been Liverpool, if that had been Chelsea, and they were in that position, they would have scored a second one. As an example, with that penalty decision, it was clear that the ball, in my opinion, as I've seen the replay, I'm not going to press play because you might hear it. My understanding, my take on that penalty was that the ball hit both of the players. It hit both of the players. And it was Saliba against Pedro. My take on it is penalty is totally wrong. Yes, big up to you. I It's difficult for me to say that because obviously I'm a Crystal Palace fan. And where do I press to see the? I don't know what I'm doing here. The live chat. Big up to you to Semic 001. Penalty decision was totally wrong. Yes, the way I saw it, if I as biased and as salty I am as a Crystal Palace fan, if I can just for a microsecond, the way physically saw it, not on live speed but on replays, the ball hit both of the players on both of their heads, and the ball left their heads, and then their heads collided. Now, because the ball was literally there by their both of their heads when they collided, but just after the ball hit both of their heads, in my opinion, there was no malice from either of the players. They were both clearly trying to head the ball. So how the referee and the fourth official deemed that, and because it's a head injury, that is a foul and a penalty. The only explanation that I can think of is that the VAR official and the referee at the time, I'm going to get the referee's name so we know for a fact it has come up. Okay, now it's caught up. On the day, it was Anthony Taylor that was the referee, and the VAR referee was Darren England. I'll say no more. I'll say no more. Oh my days. Anyway, I'm not going to go into those two. Anyway, um, the only explanation that I can say is that they didn't physically see that the intention was to make a foul, wasn't, but it was a clear pen. No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I disagree with that because the ball actually hit the head of both players before they collided. If they had nutted each other and clarity was coming out and the ball was never there, or the ball never actually hit none of the players or only one of the players, then yes, I could see where you could argue that argument. Big up to Ajita Majoran. But in my opinion, how I saw it on replay, and this is where the VAR referee, the video assistant referee, Darren England should have seen it, that the ball, I didn't know that. I thought only Pedro got the ball. No, my understanding is that the ball hit both of the heads of the players, and that's what the VAR referee should see it. And I don't mean to be like Spock from uh, Star Trek, but logic dictates that with the technology that we've got at the moment, the technology that we have available, the technology should have seen and told the VAR assistant referee, even if he couldn't see it or she couldn't see it there on the screen at Stockley Park, that the ball had hit both of the heads of the players. The ball then went away not far, and then they nutted each other. They were both going for the ball. So I'm a Crystal Palace fan, and yes, of course, I did not want Brighton to get the penalty and get the point. So I'm not putting the decision that Chelsea, I've got Jamie Chelsea in the transfer thing about Margate here, Trevor Chavilla in my mind. But I'm not saying that the game was decided because of that refereeing decision. The failure happened in the lineup of Arsenal, of Mikel Arteta. I don't know why the Premier League don't use referees. It's good, but the referees using it's useless. No, I disagree with you. But big up to your comment. The technology should be there to aid the decision to get to the right conclusion for the officials, whether they're on pitch side or whether they're at Stockley Park. For goodness sake, the technology is there for them to be able to assess what is really happening. And may I add, in future, that technology that they're using at the moment, they need to incorporate AI in it because that will tell automatically the referees at Stockley Park and on the pitch, this is the decision that should be given, and it should be broadcast live on the stadium. Um, the match that we watched, I did the watch along last night. Um, there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the referee, I think it was Stuart Atwell, he spoke to the crowd at Tottenham Hotspur. It's the very first time that they've done that, and you could actually hear his voice when he actually informed the stadium, the fans, the home and away fans, the manager, everyone, what why the decision was made in circumstances during that match last night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So the technology is there, but it's not either advanced enough or it did not tell automatically the VAR. What should happen in that instance is the match official makes a decision, and then what should then happen instantly is that the technology using AI, they're not using AI at the moment, but the video assistant referee will have a machine inside it with software, and it should ping straight away and tell the VR referee these are the three possibilities or two possibilities, but this one is the most probable. That's 99.7% correct. And that should indicate, tell Darren England, the assistant, the VAR referee, saying that should not be because a computer, a system with AI should be able to determine instantly and tell the officials, there's your double check, that is your facts. Now relay it onto the pitch. The danger with that is then why have referees in the first place then? Because you've got AI now introduced. You wouldn't have any linos. So it is what it is. But for me, as I saw it, the ball hit both of the heads of the players. And unless I don't understand the rules of a foul, whether it's in the penalty area or outside the penalty area, when the ball hits both of the players and then after the ball leaves, they happen to collide because it was the motion that they were both going for the ball. You can't tell me that the player that last touched the ball is at fault, and you can't tell me that the first player is at fault because they both touched the ball. Not at the same time, but the ball touched both of them. And then they had the collision. Um, Big up to everyone in the chat. And then I'm going to go into the Arsenal fans in a minute. So I'll tell you why the reason why they lost that match. It wasn't the penalty decision. And clearly, Mikel Arteta, this time he didn't blame the manufacturer of the football like he did a few days later. He was blaming the penalties. Like, well, I've never seen anything like that. But the Arsenal fans are used to now you picking the wrong starting lineup and absolutely bottling it at the Amex, where Crystal Palace walked for 3 points and put them in the bag, saying thank you very much. Semic 003 says the first match in Everton Stadium will be kicked off in March. Thank you for letting me know that. I didn't know that. So 10,000 tickets to hold out and we'll be able to watch under 17 games. Um, I didn't know that. And then he goes, chip inside the ball will tell the positioning is offside in the future. I think the offside is not. Yes, I think the problem with the chip in the ball is then how do you incorporate the technology in every stadium um, at different leagues? And there's a cost to that as well. Um, I think there's a role for I call them liners still, but they're called assistant referees and the referee. I don't know why the Premier League don't get new refs. They're trying to do that right now, but it costs money to invest in training new referees, getting them to the standards that they've got. You've got to alternate them, and you also got to remember that they're not just getting referees now to be available for match side. They've got to have them at Stockley Park as well. If you think when you've got a Saturday fixture, yeah, and you've got I don't know 7 or 8 fixtures going on. Hello, hello. Oh, 1 minute. Uh, I've lost everybody. It says big up to James Stone, who's back. Hello, hello, everybody. Big up to you again. And then Paul Bates, I watched Tranmere, no VR games, flow freely, mistakes made, but soon. Yeah, that's it. That's football. Just have a referee and two liners, and I would say have VAR only for the goal line decisions. Just for the goal line decisions, not the offside. Because as you saw in the cup, in the League Cup, where Gabriel Jesus was scored the second goal against my Crystal Palace, it was clearly that it was offside. The Sky Sports reporter, as it happened live, he said, "That's all. That's offside." And then there was a pause, and like everyone was looking at the referee and the liners, and they didn't do anything. So the referees, the system referees right now, are too reliant on the technology right now. And then when it's not available, they don't know what they're doing. I need to go to Transmere. Been me in the past 12 years. Just went on Boxing Day a couple of years ago. And the rain was just too mental. Listen, you're talking about the rain in Tranmere. You make a trip from South London all the way up to Blackpool. I've been there for the football. And you talk about rain. When I went there and I got soaked going from the motor um, to the stadium there. And when I got there, I was already soaked through. And I was well kitted out because I took the motor up that time. And as I stood in the stand, there was no cover on top of me. I told you, I'm telling you, I was like a penguin. I was like a duck, just completely soaked through. I was I wasn't an eagle. I couldn't fly. It was terrible, mind you. The B&B where I stayed at the Blackpool, there was some scenes going on in there. That was in the old days. Blackpool has changed a lot. It's not what it used to be back in the day. Anyway, let's not talk about the B&B at the Blackpool. Oh dear, a very pleasant landlady. Very, very, very. I'm in Liverpool once a month. I've got this flat up there, and then my son lives, works up there. And past him and used to say, yes, the rain in Liverpool is daily. It rains from Manchester. Oh, one for the rain. I tell you, yeah, I agree with that. The last time I went up to Manchester, um, you can't park anywhere near the stadium because they've got those. It's like a shopping. They've got the KFC. They've got. You can't put it in there. If you put it in there, you're gonna get ticket. So I parked away. It was like Blade Runner. Yeah. Yes, you need a remote that can take you. And then you step out the motor. That's a wicked film. They don't make films like that. Or that it's very good. One of the best um, made, and oh, Harrison, isn't it? That was the main actor there. Now, for me, um, going back to this Brighton versus Arsenal, yes, the penalty was given wrongly. It was given, and they scored, but that's not why Arsenal lost. The Arsenal fans bottled it because after 60 minutes, they should have pushed their team to get the job done before half time, and they didn't. We went beat them 1-0 last season. The train strike meant at the end, my son occupies himself 7 hours after the match before our coach back to Liverpool for 7 hours. It was the heaviest. Yeah, it's mad. It's absolutely mad. And it's no motorways. It's dual carry. It's A roads up there. It's what baffles me whenever I drive around Manchester. The last time I did is they got these trams things. And one minute you're driving because if you don't know the city well, you realise you're actually driving on rail tracks, and you're thinking, flipping out, what's going to happen now? You're like, is a train going to hit me? It's absolutely, if you don't know, and once you drive around and you realise your car is actually on the rail track, you're thinking, should I be here or not? Um, yeah, it does chuck it down there. A dual carriageway back into the city in the rain. You know what? The worst place that I've actually experienced rain in a dual carriageway was back in the day. I went to Brammer Lane in Sheffield United, and if you lose your sense of direction in that one-way system, oh my days! And then you park the car in a rush because you want to get to the match and you don't want to miss kickoff. Don't rush it and make sure you know where you left the motor. Because when I went back, I could not find the motor. I had to go around the whole width of that direction back, but it was dark then to just figure it out. So I basically walked around the one-way system of Sheffield to figure out. All right, I came off the motorway. I came this way, and I was walking around. People must have thought, "What is he doing? He's walking around the one-way system to find that." I just needed to find my angles and remember certain points because when you're in a rush and you park up and you're rushing, but I'll never forget that. And it was chucking it down. I was so exhausted. And there was a time when Sheffield United had Neil Warnock as their manager. And those ball boys used to waste so much time. Oh, they wound me right up. And I swear, Neil Warnock told the ball boys and the ball girls at Brammer Lane to hold the ball and to delay the game on purpose. It was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved it when Neil Warnock came to my palace as well. But after that, it was an event at Brammer Lane, and it was an event going back to the motor. And I'll never, I swear, I know every exit of that circular around in Sheffield. Oh, my days. Even my legs are starting to hurt just thinking about it. But I was soaked through. Um, we're going Old Trafford again in February. Looks like forward to it. By going for a waterproof scuba dive. Ha ha. Um, I'd be more worried about the mice, quite frankly, because if the mice have got anywhere near the food, you know what? Just don't eat. Oh, I better be careful what I say. No, I'm not going to be careful. Actually, they have got a mice infestation at Old Trafford, and it's been reported. So um, when you've got a mice infestation and you've got food available that you buy, think about it. You're going to pick up a bug. So just just eat yourself. Yeah, yeah, it's a very old school stadium, Bramall Lane. Very, the acoustics there's very individualist. I will say. Um, but what wound me up that day twofold was Neil Warnock. I'm sure he told the ball boys and the ball girls to just delay it, and they got their 3 points. And and then afterwards, oh my days, since infestation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I tell you, man. No, I just don't. Um, um, yeah. As I said earlier on when I was talking about Villa, Graham Potter's first game is going to be away at Villa Park tomorrow. When you go to Villa Park, you've got the Doug Ellis stand there. You probably go in the away section just there. And to the right of that, there's the car park. To the right is inside the car park, there is the club shop. But instead of going towards the club shop, just walk straight as you walk into the gate, into the car park. Walk straight to the bottom. At the bottom of that, in that car park, I think 9.5, 9.7. I'll give that a rating. The cheeseburger, the beef burger was just, oh man, it was actually made up because that was the match that it was the last match for Patrick Vieira because he was manager and Wilfred Zaha scored early doors in that match, but it was deemed offside and it was yeah, no, Side by Stone peaked mountains. It feels like it. Yeah, it's changed that precedent then small train to Burnley. I'm surprised you can actually take a train up north at the moment with the cold weather and with the snow. Oldham is freezing. I've been to Preston North End, um, but I think the furthest north that I've ever been, I'm not sure. Is Middlesbrough further up than the Stadium of Light? Oh, I better be careful what I say here. No, no, I'm not. That's a genuine question. But I've been to Middlesbrough, Nottingham, and Stadium of Light, and my geography is actually completely gone out the window. Can't remember which out of those three is furthest the north, but whichever one of those three is furthest up, I think it's the Stadium of Light. Is it Middlesbrough? Oh shit, that's really bad. I should know that. But yeah, no, that's the furthest north I've been. For football anyway, I have been to Edinburgh back in the day. Um, now, yeah, going back to this 1-1 between Brighton Hove and Albion and Arsenal quickly because I'm running out of time. Jesus, what's the time? Oh my days! No, I've got to be out of here by 12. So um, I can't believe I've done this. What's going on? Anyway, Sunderland further up. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, I thought it was the Stadium of Light. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. 'Cause that one, I actually drove and I met somebody that I know that lives up there. And no lie, I was behind the goal at the Stadium of Light, and the ball came over the crossbar. And of course, when the ball goes over the crossbar, I actually caught it. I caught it. I was a good five-a-side goalkeeper back in my day when they discovered that I had one flat foot and one that wasn't. So they put me in goal. They thought, right, you can't run down the line, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's another story. But basically, I caught the ball. I was on Sky News. I think in those days, they just the satellite had them, the satellite days. And when I went into work on Monday morning, my manager, he was a Tottenham Hotspur fan, he goes, "Oi, oi, oi! I saw you on TV." And I said, "Well, stop being a nosy Parker. Clear off." No, I didn't tell him that. He would have sacked me. Paris win back in April. Title chase. Very enjoyable. I don't know. You know what? Um, I don't. I know what you're saying there, but Anfield Road, yes, I've been to Anfield twice. I've driven up there once, and the other one was on the coach. And Goodison Park's Goodison Park once. The last time I was at Goodison Park was when we had AJ playing for us, and it was that week. Um, he played for us, and then at the weekend or the next week, I can't remember. The England manager picked AJ, and instead of playing him up front, he played him on the wing. Simon Jordan was few on there. I think I just closed it. But yeah, I remember that was the last time I was up at Goodison Park. The well, it's still the Everton ground, I suppose. I hope I haven't lost everyone there. I just did something, and the whole screen went. But yeah, anyway, going back to the match, I've got to finish this off. I've got to go at 12 o'clock. Before that, Brighton Hove Albion won, Arsenal won. Yes, that penalty should never have been awarded, although as a Crystal Palace fan, I wanted Brighton Hove Albion to lose. But, and I have to say this, Arsenal fan, Mikel Arteta, why did he pick Jorginho in the midfield? Why didn't he put Rice in the midfield? And why didn't Gabriel Martinelli didn't play as well? Uh, it's the size that he picked. He started with Mikel Mourinho as well. Mikel Mourinho is not a starter. Shouldn't be a starter in an Arsenal team playing up against Brighton Hove and Albion, and he got found out. Okay, he made an assist, but where was good chip shot one day, glad street, and yeah, good curry sauce. Yeah, yeah. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if they've already sold the land for development, where the old Goodison Park. Are they going to knock it down and build a I don't know, something. There's going to be a gap there, obviously. Like when Arsenal left Highbury, they built flats where that was, and I expect that's what they've done at Upton Park. I don't know what they've done there. I never understand why Arsenal left Highbury, and I don't understand definitely why they left Upton Park, the West Ham fans. It's definitely not the same atmosphere. Having to win yesterday, Ellsworth survived and pocketed. Well done, Semic 0006. But I'm not a betting person, but well done to you. Make sure you bet responsibly. Don't get yourself in trouble. Well done. Very good odds there. You bet $50. Well done. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I think it was the selection of Mikel Arteta that made it them not possible to win against Brighton away. And also, I'm saying that it's the substitutions as well. Um, Ranieri, of course, was substituted at half time, picked up that injury. But I have to say this as well, Arsenal fans out there. This match happened on the 4th of January. Arsenal didn't play the 2 days previous to New Year's, and they didn't play uh, January the 1st or the 2nd. So they had, or is that wrong? But all I know is that Arsenal didn't have to play January the 1st or January the 2nd, and other teams had to. So my point is, Arsenal players had 2 or 3 extra resting days over that period, and they still managed to go down to the Amex and lose and bottled it. Well, they didn't lose. For me, that's a loss because you, you can't bottle it like that, Arsenal fans. And as I said before, and I've got to go, but big up everyone in the chat. Um, Let me tell you something. I've never asked anything of an Arsenal fan, never. But I asked them with pretty please, like the Wolf said, Mr. Wolf said in Pulp Fiction, with sugar on top. Pretty please, just don't bottle it. And the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal manager, the team selection, complete bottle jobs. How can you drop 2 points against Brighton and you want to be champions of the Premier League? You want to be Champions League? Get out of here. I can't see them winning anything with Mikel Arteta. Arsenal need to buy a striker, and look what Newcastle did to them a few days ago, and stop blaming the manufacturer of the football. And did you see Mikel Arteta and his coaching staff, his set piece coach, not just outside the technical area, because they were there the whole time outside the technical area, and he never got a talking to, and he never got a yellow card. They were 30 yards down the touchline. 30 yards, they were in line with the penalty area. Everyone knows that you can't do that. It's against, it's like not playing cricket, if you like. It's against the spirit of the game. Everyone knows that the technical people have to stay in the technical area, and only one person is supposed to wander out. Either the manager or one of the coaching staffs. But Mikel Arteta and the Arsenal fans at the Emirates always cheating, always getting a decision that nobody else does. If Jurgen Klopp got a yellow card for stepping out his technical area, and he only put a toenail out of it. Go and ask a Liverpool fan; they'll tell you about that. But Mikel Arteta and his set piece coach go 30 yards down the touchline, and it don't. No one has a word. Really fuming on that. But big up, thank you everyone for getting me to 5 likes. If you can, if you're watching on playback, help me get to 10 likes if you could. But everyone that's hit a like and has viewed today, you're all absolutely amazing. I really mean that. Because as you can see, half of what I do, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go along. IDK, why do you surprise by bottling in the DNA of the North London clubs? Look, all I know is big up to, right, I'm going to quickly thank everyone. Ajita Majoran, I hope you're well. Stay safe where you are. James Stone, make sure you wrap up good. The next 2 days is going to be very cold in the UK, so watch out for you. Simic 001, big up to you. Again, stay safe where you are. And a massive thank you to Paul Brady. He's a Liverpool fan. Big up to you, gentlemen, coming. Oh, nearly banned you. Thank you very much. Thank you for notifying me that Sunderland was further up. Yeah, yeah. Um, and also, Oldham, freezing. Oldham is freezing on the hot sunny day. That's good. I missed that one. Big up to Paul Brady on that one. That's a good one. I might actually chalk that one down. That's a good one to tell someone. So I don't know nothing about up north, but if you go anywhere near Oldham, it's freezing there, even if it's sunny. That's a good one. Big up to James Stone. Hope you have been well. And there was somebody else in there. To Majoran. Um, the intention was to make a foul, but that wasn't a clear penalty. Yeah, we've talked about that. Big up to you. And big up to Steve RSA. And massive thank you to STE, the Chelsea fan there. Um, um, talking about Tammy Ibrahim and um, what is it with Chelsea players leaving Chelsea and going to Italy? If they're not doing TV interviews like Lukaku, I have to mention that to the Chelsea fans because they're after two of our players right now. Just to tease them, get them back, and unbelievable. But thank you very much, everyone else, and big up to Adamo1168. He was the first one, or she was the first one that dropped in earlier on, and let's start with it. This has been my very first transfer window news update in the morning that I've done ever on Diego Z Palaces. Thank you very much, everyone out there that has liked, that has watched, that has done chats in there. Just learning to do different things at the moment, and also I did a bit of the conclusion as you just heard there. But quickly, what's the time? Oh my days, I've got like 5 minutes to go. But I'm just going to have a quick refresh, like we all do as football fans. We're always refreshing our phones to see if we get a latest news or breaking news of transfers and see if there's anything. Um, why is everything taking so long to refresh? If it's not the tablet now, it's this. It's now this phone. Oh my days! Uh, yes, there has been some development here. A Celtic defender, Stephen Welsh, has joined KV Mechelen on loan, but only until the end of the season. If you're new to the channel, oh, massive thank you. Thank you very much, everyone out there, to get me to 6 likes. Um, if I can get 5 likes, I'm like over the moon. But big up to you. Lot. I'm not complaining. Big up. Thank you for getting me to 6 likes. Um, Aberdeen. Are they getting rid of Latvian captain Christian Torben's decided Aberdeen was the best place to progress his career after feeling love of the Don fans. Um, so they might have got someone. I'll just refresh, but this thing can't handle it. Let me go into Sky on that one then. Let's have a look. That's even slower. Yeah, I can confirm that Stephen Walsh has joined, and Celtic Football Club has just tweeted that out. That is confirmed. Stephen Welsh has left on a season loan to KV Mechelen. Um, and oh, hello, Merson from Sky Sports is saying Jose to Everton. Oh, I mean Jose Mourinho in comparison to Sean Dyche. What I'll say to Jose Mourinho is, you know what happened to Ancelotti, and he's been at Everton. Um, Paul Merson, what a legend, is saying that Jose Mourinho, um, as reported, he just doesn't see no difference between Jose Mourinho and Sean Dyche in their playing style. And did anyone out there see the Tottenham goalkeeper, the youngster Antin Kingski celebration? They went over there to his family. Um, 2 or 3 days ago, he signed for Tottenham Hotspur, and then 48 hours later, he lands at the club. He realised that he was actually going to be playing, starting, so he got on the blower to his family. I think they're from Sweden, and they all flew over, and he played really well. He got a clean sheet against Liverpool. Not many keepers on their debut, and many keepers can say that this season, and they may be actually more experienced than him. Um, I've done the Luton one. I just can't see any more latest news, and I've done the Wolves, and yeah, that's it. Right, it's coming up. At this hour, I'm going to clock up around 12 o'clock. Thank you very much, everyone, for getting me to 6 likes. That's amazing. Thank you very much on my very first ever transfer window morning watch along, I suppose it's called. And also, I did a bit of updates from the last Premier League fixtures. There is more football tonight, and I'll try and do that later on. But at the moment, I've got to fly, get out of here within 3 or 4 seconds. Please, if you're watching on playback, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace. Hit a like. Jose Mourinho is still complaining about referees in Turkey. He's always is he still sent off? I mean, it's probably still banned from the touchline. Do you know what? If Jose Mourinho was in the Premier League right now, and if he stepped out of his technical area, so much as put a toenail out, he would have got a yellow card. But Mikel Arteta never got one, and his staff and himself were 30 yards down the touchline in that match against Newcastle, and no one had a word. Arsenal fans, And Arsenal managers, with their gleaming process, there's a rule for them and there's a rule for everybody else. No wonder people sing, same old Arsenal, always cheating. That's right, I said it. I'm not going to take anything because I'm telling you, I'm still fuming with these Arsenal fans going away to Brighton Hove and Albion and absolute bottle jobs, the lot of them. Absolute bottle jobs. I've never asked anything of an Arsenal fans in my life. I only ask for them to just make sure Brighton drop 3 points, everything. Massive goal difference against them. Arsenal scores early doors in that match with Ethan Nwaneri, and now he's injured. And they couldn't get to half time and making it better. It's just ridiculous. Absolute bottle jobs. Terrible lineup, starting lineup. And that's Arsenal having rested for extra 2.5 days extra than anyone else in the Premier League. Um, Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care, Paul Brady. Take care. Thank you very much for staying on late last night and today. I really appreciate that. Everyone, stay safe, stay warm, and be careful on the ice out there. And I hope to do some more work later on this evening. But this is Diego C. Palace, and thank you for watching my very first ever transfer morning update news and what happened at the weekend before. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay warm, and catch you up on the next one. Right, this is a new phone, so I've got to go over here now. All right, take care, everyone. Stay safe and stay warm. Bye.